All right, take three.
Third's the charm.
Third time's the charm.
That's right.
Forgot to record the first time. Second time messed up the audio. So,
David
Then-
Ross is number 3.
all right, well. Inaugural Nuts and Bolts podcast. We got my nut over here, my boy Jeremy.
Let's go.
And here's truly Evan Bolts, Chicago Sports Podcast. Got the Chicago flag flying behind us. Started off, got to ask you, how you still feeling about the Chicago Cubs coming off that World Series championship?
Still pouring up that champagne, you know.
All right, so we got starting day just around the corner. Spring training's finishing up. What's the lineup looking like? Where's Schwarber going to be? How many games are we going to see him? Over, under, 75?
You lowballing him, man. He's getting 150 games appearances this year. Got to see an everyday lineup, either pinch hitting or starting on the left. Joe Maddon's been talking about him leading off. If you think of the potential there, just what Chris Bryant batting behind him he's gonna see a lot of pitches.
All right,
get a
time
lot of
out
wins.
before you get too far. 150?
150. So
I mean,
pinch hitting when he doesn't stop.
we're talking about the same guy who came out game one of the World Series using one crutch.
Same guy who came back from an ACL tear within 6 months to play baseball. People like Pete Rose saying he wouldn't be able to do anything. Had to eat his words after the game and was pretty complimentary of the way Schwarber was able to play. And
All right, if you're telling me we're going to get Schwarber out there for
Schwarber is
150,
debatably the best hitter on the Chicago Cubs, in my opinion.
all right, well, we could have an hour-long podcast talking about that debate. But if we're going to get Kyle Schwarber out there for 150 games, where are we going to see Javi Baez?
Javi Baez is fighting the same struggle as him. Trying to fight for starting spot, but they're gonna see pinch hitting a lot. Joe Maddon likes to double switch a lot, use those relievers, keep those starting arms fresh. Double switches will give guys who pinch hit the last 4 innings of a game. And that's where you'll see your appearances, or at the least, they'll be pinch hitting in almost every game.
I think you got too much talent to work with. You're going to have someone upset in the clubhouse. You're going to have something going. It's inevitable. Something's going to go wrong.
These guys are all young.
You're either going to someone's going to get hurt, which might fix the problem. That honestly might be what you want, is somebody to get hurt and make a little roster space.
You understand they got a hitting cage in the clubhouse now. It's not like boring old Wrigley Field before, where you literally the best thing to do was sit there if you.
I got it. I understand, but I mean, you're gonna have guys who want to get out there and make some money. And you only make money if you show how good you are.
Appearing in 150 games is going to give you plenty of time to show how good you are.
Not everybody is gonna be playing 150. You got some younger talent out there in the outfield.
Baseball season's already long enough as it is. They want to shorten it. To have a plethora of guys like we got to, a lot of guys like taking, there are games where you're 7 to 10 games without a break. A lot of guys would be more than happy to take a day off, and their sense of a day off is, I'm not starting, I'm pinch hitting in the 6th, and I'm maybe playing the rest of the game.
All right. Well. Anyways, Cubs can swing the bat. Now, what's the pitching looking like this year? Chapman's in New York. He went after the big bucks. Who's closing off the games and who's starting them off?
Wade Davis is closing them.
Got him from Kansas City. All right.
Pretty confident about that. Soler.
Still don't trust him.
I think he's going to hit some bombs for KC. I think maybe it was a good trade. We'll have to see, but for us, it's definitely a good trade. For KC, it may pan out kind of risky. I expected out of that franchise, they were one and done.
All right.
The Cubs are going to be around for a while.
But 1 through 5 pitching rotation, what are we looking at? Who's number 1? We still leaving Lester's the big guy? Most Bucks?
Lester's already announced his game 1.
Okay.
Game 1, Hendricks 2, Arrieta 3, Lackey 4. And then they got that Brett Anderson from the Dodgers I think he beat out Mike Montgomery.
Okay. Well, Montgomery's probably going to be the setup guy.
Yeah. Yeah, they haven't announced his role, but I mean, the role he played in the playoffs last year was incredible, and we pretty sure Joe Madden trusts him with anything he throws at him out of the bullpen. So, and Brett Anderson is a career starter, so I think that's why he went with that.
Gotta say, I really wish I was a Cubs fan.
Yeah, you got Tim Anderson.
I guess we got it on camera. I'm saying it. I wish I was a Cubs fan, but I mean, as a Sox fan,
You celebrated it.
I had to.
Yeah,
being from Chicago, if you didn't celebrate the World Series, something was wrong with you. You didn't like your city. And if you're one of those White Sox fans that was a sourpuss and didn't want to cheer for the Cubs winning a World Series, it's just like, what? What do you...
Yeah.
Come on.
But I definitely am a believer, and you can't be a fan of both.
No, you can't, and like I said...
And it's going to be an intriguing thought, and I mean, it is.
Truth be told, I really wish that I was a Cubs fan, but I'm not. So
I think it's cool still if you appreciate baseball enough. Before coming to school at Mizzou, I hated the White Sox, but now I hate the Cardinals and the Royals. And
I think I hate the Cardinals more than the Cubs. I don't hate the Cubs anymore. I was cheering for the Cubs.
I think also the Cubs' success has kind of weaned off on the hate towards the White Sox. After the White Sox won the World Series, those were my prime years of hate. Just those late 2000 years, the Starlin Castro horseback years.
Well, now I'm going to switch back to when I say we, I mean the White Sox, my real team.
Yeah.
It's the White Sox who I actually care about.
I hope so. Do you got a Rizzo jersey or do you got a Cubs jersey?
I got a Mark Pryor.
Well, that's
doable.
Yeah.
But nah, when the Cubs play the White Sox, I'm going to be rocking the black and white pinstripe. I'm gonna have the south side cap on.
Whose jersey are you getting? Because you don't have a current jersey. You got some larger. Who's the last one you got?
I might have to go Tim Anderson. If he pans out.
If he pans out,
we'll see. He's the best young talent we've had that I really like since Abreu. But I mean,
I think Abreu's gonna turn
around. Let's hope so. I mean, I could see Abreu still getting packaged in a deal with Quintana, trying to get some more talent. Sox have a shot. Sox are about 10 years away from where the Cubs are.
Yeah, they're in between. Because last year they tried to sign a bunch of big names,
and it just didn't work
out.
And then they waited too long to try to fire Ventura.
Yeah, they don't really think ahead that much.
No,
I'm pretty critical of Kenny Williams though.
I mean, he should have been out the door a while ago, but. Got Renteria, first year sporting the manager uniform for the White Sox. Obviously, used to be a manager for the Cubs. Be interesting how he manages the guys around. Get some young talent in there.
I was pissed when we fired him.
Renteria?
For that 15 seconds.
15 seconds, and then you got Joe Madden, the best manager in baseball.
I'm chilling.
And then it's like, okay, we'll just go screw ourselves as White Sox fans.
Yeah. I liked Renteria a lot. I think he's awesome for a good young team. Obviously, I'd rather have Joe Madden know what I know now, but I think that Renteria has a lot of similar qualities.
More than anything, it's going to come down to what he's really working with. I mean, you have Anderson. Any big name player on the White Sox is movable. Any guy.
Yeah, a lot of people might want Todd Frazier. But I don't know. I'm pretty confident in young players these days and their ability to compete. You see all these really young players in the World Baseball Classic, and it's like those players are medium names on their MLB teams, but you see how good they are, and it's like, dude, if they play like this for 140 games, this thing could be go from not being a contender to making the playoffs, and who knows what can happen once you make the playoffs.
I agree. Anything could happen once you make the playoffs, but the White Sox, I'll be happy if they finish above third place. To be completely honest, I don't think
their record.
They win 75.
75 is
They're not
That
making the
would be a step
playoffs.
up. Yeah, it's not making the playoffs.
I
Yeah,
think they won 78 last year. 78. We can always come back and make corrections afterwards. Great thing about videos. Yeah, man. I don't know. I mean, just being a White Sox fan, I think we're all just kind of looking over our shoulders. Not even over our shoulders, just straight across the street, other side of town, and being like, "Damn."
we're hearing the echoes.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
once, but I mean,
It for a White Sox fan, I would look forward to that because the ownership and the management is gonna hear those echoes from the Cubs, from the north side being so close, and it's pretty easy to tell what their philosophy is and how it works. So you get the right people in your organization, you can flip it around. It's gonna take 5 years. Theo Epstein got here in 2010. We became a contender in 2015.
the Cubs play in Wrigley Field though. The Sox play in what's the name? Low Rate Park. What?
And I didn't get that.
What's this? We need a statistician in here. We need our own Hank or Tony Reale.
Guaranteed rate field.
Guaranteed rate field. You're telling me we're supposed to go to the playoffs in guaranteed rate field?
Guaranteed nobody's going. It's a guaranteed rate of $5 to get a ticket to the White Sox game. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Are they leaving town?
They're not leaving town. Chicago's one of the 3 major cities in the United
Are
States.
they leaving town?
No, but I mean,
Nah, they won a World Series within 12 years. They're Gucci for like, you got like a 20-year span.
until they try to move the stadium, maybe. I wouldn't want to be playing in the South Side. If I was a player on the White Sox,
Shit, where are you gonna move to? You can't move in proximity to this city.
you go to the suburbs.
That-
You do what they do. You do what they do in California.
People will go.
Yeah, it's like what they did with
And you'll actually get parking.
the 49ers. You get parking now, right now. You just gotta be worried about your car getting broken into.
Yeah.
And you don't want to go out after the game.
Well, I was saying you get parking as opposed to like Wrigley Field, but now
Oh.
they're taking care of that with a lot of money. But they have the money because
Cubs are turning into the Yankees.
they are.
It's not looking back good for anybody. I feel like this
So-
podcast is just gonna keep jumping back to the Cubs. They're too good.
It's routine.
Try to go to the White Sox and then plop. All right. Well, back to the White Sox. Give them a bit more love because obviously the Cubs have gotten more than enough from everybody on top of the world. So hopefully we see a little North Side pride on the Chicago lineup. Starting number 1, Charlie Tilson, new True kid, coming back from a torn hamstring. Dude,
Who?
he was the number 3 prospect out of the Cardinals organization when we traded for him last year, and then hurt himself in his debut.
You know who they traded for?
Zach Duke. So Sox basically just got rid of a terrible pitcher,
Reliever.
and
Zach Duke.
so I mean I don't know. I'm excited. Just that Sale's out of there. Obviously, after he cut up his jersey last year, it was like, let's get this psycho out of here. And I mean, we got this stud. What's his name? I've got to make sure I pronounce it right. Mitch Kopech. Michael Kopech. Who they got back from that Boston trade, who threw 110
Yeah.
in throwing drills. So I mean, obviously he's got some good velocity behind his arm, but if you're throwing that fast of a ball, obviously you can really rock one over the fence.
Yeah, they got a bunch of young studs, man.
Yeah, we have one of the top farm systems ranked in baseball now. Like I was saying,
Yeah,
Color-
what they got for
Sale.
Eaton was a robbery.
Oh my god, that wasn't even fit. They
I was actually complimenting them because it's like, thank God that the Nationals are going to be worse because of that trade.
well, I mean, what it made no sense.
That makes sense very short term. And Eaton, he's a valuable player, utility guy. He played pretty well in a pretty awful White Sox game. So yeah, he's got some good value. But what they gave up for him was ridiculous. You're seeing
You got a lot more return to Yohan Makata, who's probably, I don't think he's going to start the year off at second base, but he'll definitely end the season there.
he's in AAA to start.
Yeah. But I mean, we might even find him playing a little third base. For Frazier, I mean, he's not a young stud anymore. I mean, he could definitely take a few days off.
Yeah, we're moved to DH.
So I'm saying, not don't have to put him in the field.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
I like him, man, but it's probably hard to see Chris Sale having a good spring training.
I don't care.
I saw him
I'm glad
K
he's
about
gone.
8 people yesterday versus the Yankees. He's throwing that nasty backdoor slider that it like goes over the lefty batter box and then just at the end it cuts him.
We're gonna literally
crazy arm.
You're gonna turn on SportsCenter one day and it's gonna say breaking news: Chris Sale's arm literally came out of the socket.
I don't think so. He's a freak.
It's just not. It's.
Has he even had an injury yet?
No, and it's not submarine, but I mean he sidearm whips that thing.
Yeah, but slider's a little different than like a curve
dude, he
on the elbow.
Whips his arm. I mean,
he whips his arm, but
I'm about to tear my shoulder again, just trying to enact it.
Shoulder is not for like the whipping action. You're more worried about your elbow, and that Tommy John. And he's probably thrown that way for at least 6 or 7 years now, and if he hasn't been injured by now, he's found a way that. I think he's going to be dodging injuries all the way to the...
I don't know. If I was one of his pitching coaches, I'd be pretty nervous. But
you think if Chris Sale has a deep playoff run that he is a definite Hall of Fame candidate? If he gets those opportunities, that's why he needed to leave.
Oh, 100%.
Is he going to ride his whole career with the White Sox? Because they're rebuilding now. So it's...
He wasn't going to win any games with them.
No.
I'll blame him. Good for him for getting out of town.
Yeah.
Big problem we got in the city right now is what in the hell is going on with the Chicago Bulls?
They're hard to watch, man.
We were comfortably sitting in the 6th seed a month and a half ago.
It didn't matter.
Now we're in 10th place.
I'd rather them not make the playoffs.
But at this point, they can't tank far enough.
I'm just kind of pissed that they. I love Jimmy Butler, but
should they have traded away Jimmy Butler?
Yeah, with how talented this upcoming draft is, what you would have gotten for him, what his contract you would have gotten rid of, and then the stupid trades that came after, which I felt were really forced. We get rid of Doug McDermott and Taj for.
Well, that's what I was going to come to next. We literally traded away 2 first-round picks to get Doug McDermott, who, let's agree, was a bust. Dude, Doug sucked.
He did not. He had no supporting cast. I think.
What's Jimmy Butler out there working with? I think Bobby Portis has done better in the league.
The unfortunate thing is Jimmy Butler and Doug McDermott kind of play the same position. So I didn't notice where they were on the...
Dude, if Doug's a stretch 3, maybe like...
Jimmy Butler is not your star. I think if Doug McDermott was on the team... I think if this team had a true star, which they don't have in Jimmy Butler...
What's he lacking? He has the charisma.
He can't pass the ball.
Okay.
He can't pass the ball. When he takes it to the... When he isolates himself... He's either turnaround jump shot. He gets good looks, but he can't dish the ball to keep his teammates involved.
All right, well, let's go back to what in the hell the front office is thinking. They got rid of McDermott, who, regardless of your opinion, we traded 2 first-round picks to get him.
Yeah, what were the picks in there?
I think we traded.
We lost our second.
We had the 10th and the 13th, and we traded up to I believe the 8th. We can always come back and stat check it if we have to. All right. Side question: how do you make your hair stay like that in a basketball game while sweating?
A lot of grease.
Grease or hair?
Like, I don't know. With like oily products.
We gotta get an expert here on this next podcast to figure that one out for us. Because I would love to know how some of these guys keep their hairdos for the entire game.
Yeah, I'm looking at this draft that Doug McDermott was in, and besides for the first few guys, Zach LaVine went 2 after him.
Ennis.
That's a hurt.
Harris.
I don't love those guys though. Like, I don't. Yeah, that draft sucked compared to this one coming up. Oh my god.
Well, we'll see if
That's
the
what I'm
draft
saying.
pans out. But I mean, at the same time, let's just accept that the Bulls probably aren't going to make the playoffs. Let's agree. We hope they don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, I want a better draft pick. I wish there was. I hope we don't sign any free agents. I hope we can make a trade and get future draft picks. Too bad the trade deadline's already come, but I don't know when the next time you can trade is, but it's got to be.
I don't know what we can get out of Jimmy, if anything.
I don't think they'll trade him at this point. So I don't know how much we have to.
I honestly think the way the Bulls front office works and the way they handle these trades is that they are more concerned about selling out every single game than winning games.
I don't think they know how to win games. I think to win games in the NBA nowadays, you need a stone cold star,
Agreed.
if not 2, and Jimmy Butler is not even one of those. So,
Do you think Jimmy Butler
he'd be
paired
a
up
great
with
compliment.
another?
Oh, he'd be an absolute fantastic compliment. He can shoot from distance. He's the epitome of a slasher.
Who could the Bulls
he's a
add?
great
Who could the
defender.
Bulls add to make them a 1-seed contender in the NBA today?
I mean, 1 seed.
Other than LeBron James. LeBron James.
Who they add? You could go.
I wouldn't say Durant.
I wouldn't turn it down. That'd probably be your first realistic available. Say Durant wins a championship this year. I
Time
don't
out.
think it'll happen, but then he leaves.
Russell Westbrook's about to leave
That's
OKC.
I like that a lot. That'd be huge. That'd be huge. They're getting rid of Hoiberg at the end of the year.
For sure.
I think so. He's not drafting well at all. Like Denzel. What's Denzel doing?
I mean, the Bulls didn't have a good pick last year. You know what I think John Paxson always looks for in a Bulls draft pick is a veteran player who played a lot in college.
Why are you playing for
From
a
a good
veteran
coach.
player
Because
when there are rookies in the league? I think you got to draft.
Because he's
guys who
looking
are
for
gonna-
organizational players who come from good coaching.
Yeah, he drafted Doug McDermott and missed out on Zach LaVine.
I'm just saying, Denzel Tom is a sculpted piece of work. I don't think
You
you're
won a
messing up too
championship
bad.
there?
Went to the Final Four.
Yeah.
He knows how to prepare for a big game. I think that's what he looks. I mean, Taj Gibson was a 4-year
guys-
player at USC. Who do we got in between that? I mean, Miritic. That's
don't-
not working out like we all wished he would have.
I like Mirotic.
Dude, he's as
Can't
big of a
criticize-
liability on defense as Kyle Korver was. I mean, he is literally standing with cement blocks
And he
on
can,
his feet.
and he can drop with Kyle Korver. It's when you're expecting him to guard Karl Anthony Towns. It's-
Or
what
when
the
you're,
fuck-
or when you're. I mean, we can even say fuck. Screw it. I mean.
I shouldn't.
But I mean, it's exactly like when you have someone wide open underneath the fucking basket and he just takes a 3. It's like, dude, you gotta pass.
Yeah.
You're not playing in Spain anymore.
Yeah, he's from the land of I get ball, I shoot.
Exactly. I mean, so I don't know if he's a piece that stays or moves. Obviously, Rondo, get out of town. Wade was just a coming home party to say goodbye to Chicago. And
I like Wade still.
I don't not like Wade,
I
but
forgot about Wade.
he's hurt. He's
Yeah.
done for the rest of the season. There's nothing.
Yeah.
You never expected anything out of Wade this year. That was another problem with the Bulls. Was when they signed Dwayne Wade, what were you expecting? Him to play 60 games max?
60 would be a good number.
That's what I'm like. I'd be happy.
Yeah. Yeah. I
think he maybe got 60.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I mean, horrible. See what happens, though. We're back. All right. Next thing we got going on in Chicago that we need to address with our horrible franchises. Chicago Bears got a draft right around the corner, which, if I'm not mistaken, is in Chicago again.
Yeah.
Which is actually kind of funny. We got, I believe, the number 7th pick. Is that right? 3rd? We were that shitty. The 3rd pick. All right. That's why we were looking for a quarterback that bad. Wow. Well, that's the other thing. We just kind of solved the quarterback problem halfway through. Mike Glennon.
3 years, $45 million.
I mean, if you ask me, I think he looks like Napoleon Dynamite.
Does.
But I like it. I like not going into the draft being concerned with having to get a quarterback as your number one necessity, because I don't think that's always available at the top of the draft. I mean, some years are obviously different than others, but this year in particular, I mean, Mitchell Trubisky, I like him, but he only played, 14 games in college?
Yeah.
Watson, obviously he went to 2 national championships, but how's a spread-style quarterback going to transfer over into a pro-style system? But, hey, you can win. So, at the same time, one of those 2 guys is going to move off the board, because we've also seen moves by Cleveland to get a quarterback. So,
are they going to get rid of Osweiler?
I think Osweiler's contract is like 20-something a year. You got to pay it.
So are they shopping a quarterback?
No,
I think the Bears are getting Watson. I think Watson's falling to 3.
You think they're going to groom Watson?
Yeah, I think that would be a good move for them.
I personally, and this is the Notre Dame side fan talking to me, I'd be okay with going with a ball hawk or a defensive stud number. You got Leonard, someone for certain. I mean, if he doesn't go number 1, Bears trade him and get number 2. But I mean, I think maybe defense wins championships. You know, you've heard it. Football guys love defensive players. They love hard-nosed hitting. And I think then you just get maybe Kaiser in round 3, 2, and groom a quarterback like that. I don't think you necessarily have to get Watson at 3 if you're not going to plan on starting him this year.
You can compete for the starting role with Glennon. I don't think if Watson comes out and kills it in the preseason and plays weight, and Mike Glennon is awful, I don't think they would hesitate to start Watson. I think if Mike Glennon plays really well and Watson plays really well,
dude, if Glennon's that shitty,
I think Watson will be better than he's surprised. Yeah, he's getting paid, but backups in the NFL get paid. Chase Daniel made the most in the league last year. $7 million for Philadelphia. We're paying Mike Glennon a little more than $7 million a year, but it's a security blanket. He was about to be taken off the market, so we had to offer him a deal.
Are we that much better with Mike Glennon right now than we were with Jay Cutler a couple weeks ago?
I don't think Jay Cutler was ever in the talks for 2017 Chicago Bears. I don't think he was ever going to be a member of the team. Eventually, once training camp comes, somebody would definitely shop for him if he still was a part of our team, but no, they weren't going to allow that to happen.
I just can't believe they didn't get anything out of him. Anything.
You got a couple crappy years of quarterback and a lot of drama.
All right, let's rate Chicago sports teams real quick from current status, how they're doing. I think you still go Blackhawks number 1. Cubs, I'm just going to give this to you because there's going to be no winning this argument.
That's so biased too, but...
one's a dynasty.
Yeah, they're already in like an established dynasty, but...
Hawks 1, Cubs 2. Okay.
It is, yeah.
Now we got the
5 years.
Now we got the 3 real shitty ones, though. All right, regardless, they're 1 and 2.
Yeah, okay.
Shuffle the cards.
Yeah, take a card.
Bulls, Sox, Bears. Who's the shittiest? Let's start off like that.
Well, the Bears are.
The Bears are worse than the White Sox?
Yeah.
That makes me feel better, okay.
Yeah.
Not really, but kind of.
Because the Bears this offseason have just signed a lot of free agents, and they've kind of did what the White Sox did last year. I think the Bears are regressing. I think they could get lucky and compete this year, but if we're talking about 2017 campaigns, I think the Bears have...
Is this on John Fox?
No.
It's on Pace? Is this, I mean, or...
John, no, well, Pace just started.
Are we still just literally praying for Virginia McCaffrey to die?
Yeah.
Is that essentially what we come down to? Bears ownership is just cheap?
Yeah, they're cheap. They've gotten some good players, but have gotten really unlucky with injuries. Jay Cutler, that whole drama fest, and him getting hurt, and who knows if he was hurt, and all that stuff. That doesn't help your football team. So I think getting rid of him was like getting rid of an infection, and Mike Lennon is the antibiotic, hopefully. But I don't know. But yeah, I think the Bears 2017 campaign,
All right.
not much better than 6 wins.
Then Bulls or White Sox? I think Bulls are probably 3, White Sox 4.
I think the Bulls are going to be a lot better next year, hopefully. But this year I consider done.
So 1 Hawks, 2 Cubs, 3 Bulls, 4 Sox, 5 Bears.
No, right now, if I were a Sox fan, I'd be... If I were equally a Bulls and Sox fan...
Which I am.
I would predict that the White Sox are going to have a better campaign than the Bulls. I think baseball is a lot...
I don't feel it, but...
I think the percentage of games that the White Sox will win, you said 75 earlier, that's just below 50% of their games. I think...
You got Cleveland.
I think...
Detroit.
Yeah, in baseball.
Kansas City. You got a tough division, dude.
Yeah. Kansas City is garbage.
Let's hope so.
Cleveland's scary.
Let's hope Detroit's shitty, too. Yeah, they're...
Cleveland's scary. Detroit's always scary with Miguel. Yeah, but Boston. I think the White Sox will not win 75 games. I think they'll win maybe just below that, 70, maybe upper 60s, but that is still a higher winning percentage than...
I don't know how the hell we got back to the White Sox. Wasting our time talking about the shitty-ass White Sox. Let's end it on a high hope. The Blackhawks. Number 1 team in Chicago. The dynasty.
Are they going to win it this year?
I'm just ready for the playoffs to start and just rub it in the St. Louis Blues. Knock on wood.